Hey,
What's going on, lads?
how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you guys? You alright?
You're swinging, man. What are you on?
I know, man. I'm on this chair, man. It's real comfortable, bro. Trust
I
me.
need to get me a chair like that, man.
It makes all the difference when you're doing all your work. Trust me.
While we wait for the audience numbers to grow a little bit, it's only
Yeah.
just 1 minute past 1. Why don't you let us know a little bit about who you are
Yeah.
and the way you are in your career? Because based on some of the other people we've been speaking to this week, you come from a slightly different background. You're not studying it. You're not a student. So fill us in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, I went to university when I was younger. Didn't study photography or the arts or anything like that. Did a business management degree, and just been working like quite typically Indian, if you get what I'm saying. You know how it is. So, but then like throughout that, obviously there was a bit of a passion there, like quite heavily into music and stuff like that. I used to DJ quite a bit, and then obviously throughout when you're DJing, I was doing radio, a few club nights and stuff. You'd always see the photographer there, and that always was something that took an interest for me, But again, to be honest, it all took a bit of a backseat because I was just so focused on making it career-wise first, like in what I do. And then I think just something just hit one time when I went to help out a friend, and he literally threw a camera in my hand, and he was just like, take some background stills, And I was like, dude, I have no idea how to do this, but some of them came out okay, and then ever since then, I was into it. I was into it heavily. So, and like you guys mentioned, like the previous people on your chats this week, like a big shout out to all of them. Like my journey is a bit different to theirs. So, I'm in a transition essentially to become a photographer. Do you see what I mean? So
right, got you, man. Well, listen, let's get into it. Why don't you start hitting us up with some of your questions and
yeah, definitely. So yeah, brilliant, man. I think one question for me, like in my journey at the moment, would be from you guys. What I would like to know is, what did you actually do to start getting working? Do you see what I mean? When you actually realize, like wow, this is real. This is what we're gonna do.
When we started, the way we came about. Hey, Megan. When we came about together, we actually, funnily enough, Amit and I didn't have this kind of idea of being this partnership. So what happened? My brother he's still a famous music artist. He got signed to a record label, right? I was meant to work with my dad, right, in the clothing business. My dad decided to kind of shut shop, and I was kind of stuck in limbo, thinking, what am I going to do? So my older brother had gone into music. I thought, I'm going to go into music, right? So I tried to go into music management. And what happened was that I had a friend of mine who I was trying to manage, and he needed some photos taken. So Amit's dad was an aspiring photographer. He bought all the latest kit. He had the first digital camera when it came out. So Amit had been dabbling with it anyway. And the day that Amit's dad, my uncle, because Amit's my cousin, was meant to take the photos, he said, look, dude, sorry, I'm so sorry, I can't do it. So I asked Amit, I said, dude, look, you're quite handy with the camera. Why don't you take some shots? So we took the guy I was managing, took him to the local canal behind Amit's house in Hayes, West London, right? And we started doing the shoot. And Amit, I think it was on auto mode. He's kind of giving me direction. I'm kind of giving direction. So we're both kind of working together, and we're taking these photos. And when we went back home, we kind of looked through them. We were actually quite impressed. Like, okay, these look quite good. And Amit's dad looked at them and said, wow, you guys, you could take some right photos. And literally, no lie, we said to each other, should we just do this together? Because I was looking for an opportunity and he was looking for an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then for us, then all it was pure passion, adrenaline. We found something that was ours. But what we knew is, we needed to book work. But guess what? We didn't have a portfolio at all. So what we focused on doing was building a portfolio, because we knew that if we do enough work, right, eventually people are going to start telling other people about us. And that's how we got our first jobs in, literally doing so much stuff for free, not even worried about the money. You know, money was, it was an afterthought. Let's just do the work. Let's learn how to, you know, master this exciting new industry we're kind of going into. And then, you know, word just spread. These two guys take these photos together, you know, Amit and Anup.
Yeah.
And that's how we got our first jobs. And from there, yeah, did we actually start? We never did any kind of formal marketing. It was all word of mouth, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was all word of mouth,
Yeah.
you know. But the thing was, the work was different. People were intrigued and excited by the work. And yeah, we had a basic website, only had MySpace, no social media. And that's how we built. That's how we built ourselves up, purely word of mouth. And you know, just asking, being nice to people, being cool, and then like, you know, we would say to them, look, if you got any mates who need any photos, let them know about us.
Yeah.
And they would do that, and that's how it started. Differences back then, it wasn't as easy to get into the industry. Like I said, we had the first digital camera that came out, right? So we were kind of almost ahead of the game a little bit. It was so much quicker for us to work. And then Amit's dad kind of taught me Photoshop. And so we were able to, you know, and he was working in Photoshop and working with a wedding photographer who was putting these really cool looks and kind of styles on images. So I kind of learned how to put cool tones and make the images look kind of cinematic and different to your kind of normal type of photograph. So that's I kind of style developed from that too.
What about you, Anup? Have you started getting paid work then at the moment? Where are you at? What's the situation?
So with me at the moment, like you guys, you know, I'm putting the word out there, and I've only really started to take this seriously, I would say, in the last 18 months. So before, I had that camera thrown in my hand and I was just messing about, you know, but then afterwards I was literally like, you know what, I can make this happen. So at the moment I'm doing a few commercial shoots for hotels and things like that, which is quite cool, you know. And then it's the added bonus is it is paid work as well. But I think what's important for me, like you guys said, is it's not about the money. It's about find what you're interested in and home in on that. And for me, that's quite a lot of that is music and movies and things like that. That sort of side of it and that world, which is quite cool. And like you guys, it's a case at the moment, I'm in that transition of putting in that grind to just let everybody know, you know, like if you've got friends that want photos taken, like let me do your portraits, or if you've got a friend that's an actor or blah blah blah, etc. Like, you know, let me do it for you. And
what's the big vision for you? Like where do you want to be? I know that you love your hip hop and you love your music. Yes. Do you want to shoot more music artists? What's the vision for you?
I think the vision for me would be to shoot like sort of music videos and music artists, and you know, a dream would be to have an album cover out there. Do you see what I mean? Where I did the photography, I think it's quite a good path for me. So that would be cool.
You got Jay Sean who just tuned in, man. So maybe you
look at that, man.
Hey,
big shout out to Jay Sean.
All right, man. So let's hit us up with the next question.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I guess then my next question is, I mean, what difficulties did you both face, like from those already in the industry, you know, like being young Asian lads as well, you know, so essentially different. Like, did you have any sort of barriers put up against you from already established photographers? Because for me, you know, I'm reaching out to people, and you know, like a lot of the time they don't get back to you, but it's just all about like staying consistent and just staying on top of them and just still hollering at people, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's not even about like worrying about other photographers, I would say. I'd say more it's about you just being persistent and letting everything evolve. And I think like we do live in a really crowded world these days, right? So people are getting messages all the time, but the key thing I'd work on with you is the value proposition. So if there's certain people you want to work with, send them a really concise email or message. And the thing about you that I love, you're just born to be with people, man. Like, look at you smiling. You've got the people stuff, man, nailed. Like,
that's it. Yeah.
And the thing is, they're probably photographers who may work maybe better than yours. But if I had to pick, man, I'd go with you because I'm sold on you. I'm going to be spending the day with you, and I think your work will evolve. So I would focus on your number one thing should be to get people on the phone or to have a coffee with them. And if you just focus on that, I think everything else will evolve and stack into place. Don't worry about other guys in the industry, how long they've been doing it, what shade they are. That's irrelevant.
And what I would add to that is, you know, we went through the same kind of I guess, situation you're in terms of you send messages out and you don't get anything back. The thing is, don't take that personal. Everybody faces the same thing. Because,
of course,
you know, when we speak to art directors or commissioners, and we generally ask them, how many emails do you get a day from, you know, photographers who want to have, you know, show you their book or their work? Hundreds. They get hundreds a day. So the likelihood that they're going to open your email is very low. And then for them to, you know, then like your work and say, okay, you can come in and I'll make time for you, my busy schedule is even less likely. So don't take it personal, just keep knocking. And it's happened to us early in our career. We'd send so many emails out, not get any replies, but fortunately some people did open it and the timing was right and we got in the door. But guess what? We never stopped doing it. And then, yes, you do get to a position where you can get an agent and what emails come to you. Amazing. But you got to earn that right. And you got to really put the work in. So don't ever take it personally. No one's thinking, oh, I don't want to work with Anup. They send it all the time.
No, of course. I mean, I guess then, like that's real sound advice, actually, especially like I said, from someone that's transitioning into that career. So no, thank you for that. My next question, I guess, for you guys is, obviously you've done these great shoots, right? Like amazing body of work there. How do you guys go about coming up with the concepts you want to go for? Like for one, for example, obviously you've done the Turban and Tails, which is brilliant. The other one I like was the one about the guys that love their cars. Like that Jimmy McQuiff photo is brilliant. And I mean, he's like the coolest guy on the planet. Like I follow him on Instagram and he's brilliant. Like, but how do you go about getting those concepts in and those ideas, you know?
Well, it's interesting. We, Amit and I both have, you know, we have different ideas sometimes.
Yeah.
And we actually sit there and we discuss them between us and we say, okay, what is our goal for this project, right? Because we really love doing personal work and you know, diving deep into stories and trying to, you know, tell a narrative through motion and stills. And Amit will sometimes say stuff and then we don't jump into it. And I'll call him one day. I'll say, you know what you said about that? I think this is how we should do it. You know, because I think this could be good, or vice versa. He'll do the same with me. So it's a discussion. You know, the key thing is we never just write the other person's idea off. We talk through it, and if the other person has a suggestion, we take it on board, and it's never taken as you know. We never think, oh, he doesn't like my idea. It's not that. It's what is best for the product or what is best for us. You know, and I think it's that we don't become defensive about our ideas, and sometimes a lot of people do. We just, cool, man, that sounds like a great idea, or okay, that actually really makes a lot of sense if we do it that way. So we really nurture the idea, let it kind of blossom and grow, right? And then when we feel like, this is feeling right in here, we go about executing it. But what we look for now is really interesting stories. So so Amit, like, he was always firing me over articles. Oh, read this. This could be an interesting project if we did this. And, you know, it's about looking out there and seeing what's happening right now in society, you know, and how can we then kind of follow that up and convey it through, you know, through our work.
What are you interested in, man? If you were going to shoot, you know, a project, what would you hit us with some ideas? Music,
footwear. Oh, man, I've got a disgustingly large collection of trainers, man, which
I thought you were going to say
I'll be honest with you, when I used to buy them, man, there was a point where I had to sneak them into my mum and dad's house. I would leave them in the porch because my mum would shout at me so much, man, for buying new trainers, man.
Trainer addict.
Yeah, man, like it comes and records, man, vinyl. Like obviously I grew up in that era where all of my money, like I used to work part-time, all of my money used to literally go on vinyls and trainers. And
you know, it was funny when we started, I used to DJ a bit. I even got Narup's old record collection. He gave it to me. I had the 1210s, and I used to spend £300-400 a month on records. But then when we started the studio, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to stop the DJing because we've got mortgage to pay, man. So
that could be an interesting project for you. Yeah, it's about footwear, about vinyl. You know. Netflix always do great documentaries about certain things. Like they've got one about drum and bass and music. You could easily do a project around the love of vinyl and how it sounds different. Because I used to too.
There's a connection there. You know what? I know quite a few DJs. Anyone that collects vinyls will have a wicked sneaker collection. Anyone that has a wicked sneaker collection generally loves music and will have some sort of a vinyl collection as well. So it's a good look, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, what's next?
You know, the good thing with that is, man, that project will evolve, man, and it'll give you an excuse to what did that Jay say? Or people that can scratch with their feet.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'll to say that, man.
He's loving it, man.
The thing about this project is it will evolve, and I think for you, you'll meet so many different people, and I guarantee you, some of the people that are into vinyl and trainers may have their own business, they may have different careers, and that will lead into different photography opportunities and even film opportunities. So I would say that's brilliant. If we look at the guys that we shot for the car project, they're all from different backgrounds, right? So again, golden opportunity to do cross business and develop other things. But I would say with you, man, you're too good with people, and you're almost wasting your time if you're not setting a certain amount of hours a month to be doing this project, you know. And I know you've got family and stuff, but if you can lock up a few hours, man, every week and dedicate it. And that's our Turbans and Tails project, man. We were quite strict on ourselves. We were like, we're going to put these hours in, we're going to get this going. And that's why it got the traction that it got, man. But no, I'm excited for you, bro. You could. No,
thank you, man. Well, that's something that I want to plan and get into place. But obviously, as you say, it's hard. Like, obviously, being a dad of only a month, a couple of months nearly, is hard weighing it up. But we'll no doubt we'll get there, you know.
Of course.
So one thing I wanted to ask you,
get out of the house, man, from the missus, man. Just say, I've got to do my project, man.
She's live on here now, man. She's already messaging me. Like, I can see it. I can see it already, man. It's quite funny. I got one of my cousins messaging me like, "Oh my god, you got Jay Sean on your thing right now as well."
Amazing. All right, hit us up with another question.
Yeah. So one thing I don't think people have covered, but equipment. What's your preferred weapons of choice? I guess. Like, have you guys got preferences in terms of what
we packing, man?
Oh, so
man.
We started off with Fuji. I think it was the first digital cameras. Then we started using Nikon, moved to Canon. Now we shoot when we shoot stills, the Nikon Z7. So we use a mirrorless, beautiful, full frame camera, small, compact. And when we're shooting motion, if we're kind of doing it ourselves and I'm operating it, we've got some Fujis that we use, X-T3. So they're really nice. The picture quality is amazing. Nice, small, compact. But then, a lot of the time when we're doing motion, we're working with a DP, and we'll probably use like an Arri Alexa or something like that. But with the stills, Nikon Z7, nice, small, compact. But the right light, man. We always use Pro Photo, a kind of flashlights. I think it just gives the best quality of light.
Yeah, I don't really get too hung up on technology in terms of what I use, but you know what? I am a tech head. I work in that industry and I love it. Like, so I'm quite open-minded in terms of what's about, and it's just I just enjoy keeping up with trends. So
yeah, you should. It's good to have a good knowledge of it. I mean, you don't need to get hung up on it. Good knowledge. A good camera doesn't make you a better photographer, right? But a good camera makes a good photographer even better in terms of the picture quality and the sharpness. It is. I wouldn't get too hung up on it. It's not the first thing I would worry about. But once you get to a certain stage, like with the work we do, we have to shoot full frame. It has to be 50 megapixels and above. Just because a lot of the output is big posters, or it needs to look good on big screens. So that's one reason why we use the Nikon. But don't get too hung up on it, especially when you're kind of early on in your career. That's what I would say.
No, that's cool. So I guess my next question, obviously going from equipment, but obviously indoor or outdoor shoots, do you guys have a preference? What you like? Like, obviously, based on your brief, no doubt. But how would you sort of figure out like what you guys want to do?
I think we used to be quite studio heavy at one stage, right? We used to do a lot of studio shoots, but it's always evolving, man, and things are changing now, and I think there's a good mixture. But it always depends on the brief. I tell you what, having a studio for us though when we started was just brilliant, man, because we cut our teeth there, man. It's like 24/7 access, practice whenever you want. Honestly, man, like it was life changing, and it was just that repetition, man, that allowed us to just be so good. So if we'd shoot out on the street, there was no messing about because we were just used to just boom, 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 boom. We know what we're doing. So how about you, man? Do you have a preference? You shoot studio?
I've done studio once and I loved it. It was brilliant. It was awesome. But majority of the work has been outdoors, which I'll be honest with you, I found a lot harder because you're not always in control of all the elements, let's just say, aren't you, or the lighting, etc. So, but it's a good challenge. I quite like it. So
it's a good challenge, but I would suggest, you know, knowing how to light in the studio is really important, because you know, when you're shooting outdoors, anyone can kind of get lucky when the light is perfect and you've got a beautiful background and you've got a good model who knows how to pose. You know, I think a lot of the time you're capturing instead of creating. When you're in the studio, you're really creating. You know, you have to position the lights in the right place. You're really sculpting the light. You're in total control of that situation. So there's a difference between, you know, capturing and creating. So, you know, I think that really separates the good from the not so good, is those people who are savvy in the studio. But like Amit said, a lot of our work now is location based, just because it's commercial and it's not always in the studio. But we can, you know, we're equally happy shooting in the studio. So, so yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, no, awesome. I think you know what, my next set of questions are a bit quick fire, and I just wanted to get your opinions on a few things, really.
Man. Why not?
Who chooses the music on set if you're playing music?
Do you know, that's a wicked question. I like to take control, and I think of it like, so many people ask their client, what do you want to hear? But I don't know if I always agree with that, because I think sometimes it's good to take control of the whole situation. It's like going to a restaurant and the chef coming out saying, what do you guys want to eat today? Whereas if you just plate up and serve, people appreciate that sometimes, right? And it's true, man.
When we go into a shoot, right, I'm there with our assistants looking through all the gear to make sure we've got everything. He's running around to see if he can find the aux lead to like the music. Like, that's
essentials, man.
That's his number one thing. Okay, how much?
That's wicked.
And I'm like, dude, let's make sure we've got all our kit here.
Nah, man, no music, no shoot, man.
I leave that up to. That's his job, is to create that ambience, and I work with our assistants to create.
That's so important, man. People feeling the vibe and you being in control, and
it does.
And it also just giving people that comfort, you know, man, that you're in control. El Capitan, man, you know, like they love that, man. So
that's wicked, man.
I'm sure you play the tunes, man, on your set, man.
Oh man, do you know what? I love hip hop. Don't get me wrong, love grime. Like, I grew up in East London, man, and we was in school when grime was just huge and really starting to pop up. You know.
And again,
33.
Oh, so I'm 35, man. Yeah, similar age, man.
You're only 10 years older than me.
Right, man.
More like me 10 years.
It's the beard, isn't it? The beard keeps you a bit older.
The light makes it even worse. Hit us up with the next question.
Yeah. Out of your sort of body of work and your photos, what would you say are your sort of favorite photos out of what you guys have done?
We get asked that so much, man. It's impossible.
Sorry, bro. I know that's a bit on the spot there, isn't it? But...
Nah, man, it's impossible for me to say, man. Do you know what? I love the memories, man. The memories that come with each shoot, and the people, man. Like I fall in love with the people, not just that we shoot, but the people that we work with, man. The teams, man. So I think the work is only the final output is only one small part. I just love the process, man. You know.
Yeah, and plus we don't view our work the same as someone else would, because you know, we're looking at it as like, how did we capture this image? And we've got this whole kind of emotional attachment to some images. So some images might not look as great to other people, but for us they have more of an emotional kind of appeal.
And you know, I'm getting pressure now. I must mention
I can see that, you know, that's quite funny.
The story of Chris. Chris is one of our best mates, and he's a DJ, a wicked DJ. Yeah. And we shot him when literally the year we first started in a subway. I still remember the shots, and Chris can break dance. So we were making Chris break dance in a subway in Hounslow while we're taking shots.
And we had that image in our book for ages.
And that was a killer shot, you know. And I love that, Chris. I'm gonna call you after. And Jay, you're all right. I mean, I know you're a pop star in that, man. But
we shot all of Jay's stuff, you know, and that really helped our career as well. Just having a celebrity in the books, you know, early on always makes a big difference.
VIP 24/7 access, man. That was and we shot that on your roof. We shot it on your roof, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Out here. We did. No insurance.
You've got a lovely life with that, man. You're a lovely life. I'll tell you what. This is in no particular order, but for me, I think some of my favorite photos that you guys have taken. Yeah. The one you did of Angel, where he's covering his with the tattoo. Love it, man. Love it.
That's our collection, man.
Yeah, that's
classic. Jimmy the Quiff for me. Like I said, man, I follow this guy on Instagram, and he's
that image actually got chosen by the AOP
yeah.
for one of the best kind of 50 images of the last 50 years of the AOP.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. But yeah.
Yeah, he's
it.
just, like I said, he's just cool. Like if you want to look up cool in the dictionary, you should have his photo.
Oh, totally.
Ricky, your ones you did of Ricky Gervais, and there's one where he's like quite aggressive in the photo. Brilliant picture.
Yeah.
From your Turban and Tails project, I'll tell you. So you've got the I think he's an MMA fighter, but the way you've captured his eyes, it's calm but quite aggressive, and I like that. There's a elder lady as well, just absolutely at peace, and you know what? That's a lovely photo. Yeah.
Thanks.
And I think one of my other favorite ones I would say is from your Little Warrior shoot, the girl doing the kick.
Oh yeah.
Like there's just absolute concentration in her face, like nothing else matters.
That shoot is probably one of my favorites.
I would actually agree.
I'll tell you why, because we had this vision that we want to create this kind of old school kung fu kind of vibe with, like, you know, we got when you see dust in the air and stuff, and it was so hard to achieve that. And then you worked with children too, right? So it was a very technical shoot to get that all looking right, and the retouch on it took absolutely ages. But the end result, I've never seen anything like it, you know. And it's like, so that for me would be one of my favorite sets of images, because just the amount of planning and thought that went into creating those images was quite intense. And the outcome, you know, I just think it looks really good. We had this idea of putting children in a setting where you'd expect like a master, a kind of martial arts master, but yet you got children there. So it was quite a cool little contrast. But yeah, that would be probably one of my favorites.
Thanks, man, for taking the time, man, to look into all of that.
Really no, it's fun, man. Oh, like I said, I think Anup, I said to you on the phone as well, I've been following you guys for quite a while in terms of just, you know, like just on Instagram and stuff like that. So I appreciate the fact that I can be here talking to you guys about it more than anything. I guess that actually, that obviously, I would say you guys are definitely one set of my favorite photographers. There's a couple of others, but who is Amit and Narup's favorite photographers? Is there anyone that you guys like draw inspiration from, regardless of background, what type of photography they do, whether they're, you know, whatever they're into?
You know, for me, man, I like Tim Flack, who's an amazing photographer, and he shoots. His animal photography, man, is just out of this world. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge dog man, animal man. But yeah, I'd say Tim, but there's so many incredible people. Mitch Jenkins.
Yeah, Mitch Jenkins is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, Mitch is dope, man.
Yeah, in terms of the kind of work he does. There's so many. But I would say if there's someone we look at and think, okay, this is where we want to be in terms of kind of work, I would say Mitch is kind of like, he does the kind of, his look is something that I can imagine we could do, you know, film posters, movie kind of posters.
I don't know if you remember, but I don't know if you ever watched Prison Break. But Mitch shot the series for Prison Break, and that we saw that ages ago when we first started, and that was a big, super inspiration for us. It was like, these guys are shooting like the box sets that we watch, and it was like, I think for us, that's definitely something we'd love to pursue and do more of, man. But yeah, no, so many cool people. How about you, man, apart from us?
Oh man, there's I don't know if you've seen on Netflix the LA Original series, Esteban Uriol. He's
I follow him. He's
awesome. He is awesome. The word that a lot of people don't know that LA concept until you watch the Netflix documentary. That LA concept where people put up the finger gestures of LA came from him.
And they got it from the T-shirt. They put it on the T-shirt. That's iconic LA image.
That's it. I would say music-wise, Ashley Verse. Obviously, I'm assuming you know who that is.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the music covers for a lot of the grime artists and stuff like that. Yeah. He's brilliant, man. He's covering a lot of concerts and things like that. So he's real dope, man. Movies-wise, there's a guy I follow called Jay Maidman. Again, does a lot of like the Marvel films, upcoming Marvel films. He's brilliant. On set, you see his work that he shows off. He's really good.
Yeah, at your stage, I think it's really important that you look at as many photographers as you can. Because we used to do that. And I've still got the bookmarks of all the people. We used to look at the work. But interesting enough, now I don't look at other people's work as much. We focus on what we're doing. You know, we're not trying to look at other people's stuff. because we don't want to be influenced too much. Now we know we've got our style, we're known for who we are. We just want to push our boundaries and not worry about what someone else is doing and not get distracted by what someone else is doing, because that could subconsciously impact us, and we could start getting worried and think, oh, someone's doing this, why don't we do that? But no, we stay true to who we are. But I think you should look at loads of people, bookmark, print screen, have tear sheets, everything you can to really learn and kind of burn those images into your head, so you never forget them, and they will influence the way you work.
And the first thing we bought when we started, we bought a subscription to GQ magazine, and we cut out all of the pictures, right? All the shoots, and I put them up in my room and had that for about 6 months, and I subconsciously learned all of the poses, the cropping, the lighting, man. So I definitely, like, the thing is, it's crazy because we live in such a digital world now. Everything's stored on your phone or laptop, but something nice about printing stuff out and seeing
I've still got the A4 binders. I've literally got like 10 A4 binders of printouts. I've still got them. It's interesting. We used to look at them quite a lot. And I think,
do you know what? I guess the last would just be like, what would be your sort of just quick fire advice points for someone like me or anyone else like me as well that wants to transition from let's say a well-paid full-time job into photography now, regardless of.
Quick question: do you want to be able to do photography full-time? Is that your end goal?
Absolutely, that's definitely an end goal.
So I would realistically, I would be realistic about your expectations. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you been shooting for, would you say?
Around 18 months, I would say, more active.
Okay. So I would honestly say it takes around 10 years, I think, to really become a master at this. So we've been doing it for 17 years now, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have to give yourself time and not rush the process. Because every shoot's a learning curve, right? Every shoot you learn something new. And there's no way you can learn and adapt and transform quickly. You just can't. Your body and your mind needs time to absorb everything you're learning, and you need to do a lot of shoots. You need to keep shooting all the time, right? So I would give yourself a realistic time limit. Say, okay, look, I'm 33 now. By the time I'm 36, 37, I'd like to be able to say I can do this full. That's still plenty of time. The good thing is photography is not age dependent, so there's no rush, right? Don't rush the process. Really, you got to earn your stripes. You've got to learn your skills, and then if you keep doing that, right, then I think you can get there. But don't think it's going to happen over.
No, absolutely not.
Second thing I would say is don't worry about the money. At this stage, don't worry about the money, right? Even trade, and this is going to go against what a lot of photographers say, but even trade your services for something else, just to get an opportunity. If someone says to you, okay, look, if it's the right job and they're not taking advantage of you, if it's the right job, do it for free. We did hundreds of shoots for free. But what is the end outcome? Are these images going to really make a difference to your book? If so, do you know what? They're worth more to you than money. Because money comes and goes. But a good image and a good shoot can last you for ages, right?
No, that's
so don't worry about the money. Two people get caught up on that. No one's going to, don't let them take advantage of you, but just get the work in and push and expand and know where you want to go, right? And then, look at some other photographer styles and really hone in on the look that you like and think, hey, this is me. This is what I feel comfortable in. And then focus on that look, right? And really nail that. Don't try to do everything. We're not meant to do everything. We've got a certain style, and that's what we do. We don't deviate from that. Yes, obviously, there is times where we have flexibility in the subject matter, etc. But the kind of the core thread is the same throughout all of our work. So really hone in on that and then focus, and you got to become like a ninja, man. That's all you do is that.
Or like Batman.
That's it. Come on, man. And
then you know what? And then just be true to yourself as well, man. Be true to yourself. Don't put pressure on yourself. Enjoy the process. I'd say the biggest mistake we made in our 20s, we were too hard on ourselves. The whole of my 20s especially, I was too hard on myself. I never enjoyed the process enough. I was like, I need to be here. We need to be shooting this. Why are we not shooting that? And that was some of the best times. It was so fun. I was younger. I didn't have as many responsibilities. I didn't need the money as much. but yet I put so much pressure on myself. So don't put pressure on yourself. It's fun. And guess what? You've got a job anyway. So the financial side of it shouldn't be a big issue. You know, for us it was. We didn't have to make money any other way. You know,
of course.
So that's what I would say. There's those kind of things. And you know what? Also have a mentor. You've got us now, you know, and, you know, drop us emails, calls, send us your work. We'll honestly give you constructive advice. You know, that's one thing, biggest mistake we made. We never had a mentor. And we would send work to agents and it was not ready at all in the slightest. But we didn't know. We thought it was amazing. In our mind, oh, that's great. You know, look at the lighting on that. You know, remember when you put that light there? I mean, that image is amazing. It wasn't good. You know?
No, that's wicked, man. And I really appreciate that. So thank you, man. That's awesome.
What I would say, man.
You know, man. Yeah. So I would say, in summary, man, based on you, man, you're born to be around people, man. Like you, as much as fun you're having on that chair swiveling around, man, you need to be out on the road. You need to be meeting people. You need to be shooting. You need to put certain hours in, and you're in such a wicked position, man, that you've got a regular job. So you've got the money coming in, so it's not even worried about, you know, money, but you can build this up slowly, start developing your Insta, your website, your projects, and connect with as many people as you can. Like people don't realize the importance of contacts, man. Like I never underestimate anyone. Like literally, like people often think, oh, you know, I'm going to dismiss someone or whatever, but you never know who knows someone, man. And that you just need to be real to yourself, man, and keep your personality consistent. And the way you deliver, like we're the same, whether it's a shoot for free or whether it's 100 grand, it doesn't make a difference. And you need to just keep that level of pride where no matter what you touch, man, you're bringing your A game, man. And the thing is, man, like Anup said, have fun with it, man. Like for me, like when we do shoots now, I always try and get as many behind the scenes pictures. I get photos with the crew, with the models, with the talent. I bring the doggy out because I want to enjoy the whole process, man. It's not like, you know, I forget, man, but you know, so many people want to do what we do, and I forget this is actually our career, man. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're having fun, you know. I'll pick this guy up, we'll head up, we'll do our shoots, we'll have a wicked day. I'm like, and at the end of it, I'm like, dude, we got paid bank today, man, and it doesn't feel like anyone was telling us you got to do this, you got to do that. But and just be yourself, man. But you honestly, man, you're so gifted with people. I can see that, man. That is going to put you in good stead, man, and you're gonna thrive.
I think that's, to be honest with you guys, that's how this came about, didn't it? I was in Windsor shooting as well, and then I noticed Narup, like obviously you're with your family, and I just sent a simple message, just like, oh, how you doing, man? Like I saw you out there. Didn't want to disturb you because you're having your family time, but just a simple big up, you know, keep doing what you guys are doing, and that's how this came about. So yeah,
the outreach is so important, man. And like, there's no excuse, man. A couple of lines, boom, done. Like, you never know where it can get you.
Keep in contact. Everybody you shoot, keep in contact with them, and keep checking in on them, because you don't know where that person's gonna lead you. So we used to shoot all the music artists, but we were too afraid to ask for their numbers. You know, they should all be our mates by now, but we were too afraid. We didn't know the etiquette then. Now, we would have had all of them as our numbers. We would have been friends with all of them. We'd take them to dinner. Yeah. That's what we do now with our clients. You know, they become friends, and that's how you stay. You know, that's how you stay in their circle and in their mind, and that's how you get rebooked. So I think that's really important. But dude, we're gonna have to wrap it there, man.
That's it, man. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no, but dude, look, we're really privileged to have you with us, talking to us today, man. It really means a lot to us that we can help out. Like we said, stay in touch with us, drop us email, calls. You know, we're there to help. And for everybody who's been tuning in, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We'll be live again tomorrow, same time, same place.
Take care, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, man.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.